Welcome everyone to Never Ready Remastered, episode 18. Believe it. I'm here with the Jose's, Lee and Al.
Fusion. Ha!
Ah,
Okay, now we're gonna talk at the same exact time in order to
really?
make this
Make it
fusion.
nice. See, this only works when we're like in sync or our weeks are matching up and whatnot.
We've been matching up. So yeah, what's up? Big week.
Has it been a
Sort of
week?
big week. Sort of big
coming
week.
up.
I mean, coming up exactly. The culmination of that's. This is why I started a petition to start weeks on Fridays. Because let's be real here. No one likes Mondays. We start the week off right on the weekend, Friday night, and we go from there. See, if it did, Ghost of Tsushima would have came out at the start of the week, and then everyone would be happy at the end of the week. I see where I'm going with the Microsoft conference.
I honestly have no idea where you're going with this, but
It's okay.
George,
Just let him go. You don't even correct us. We've learned by now. Once he gets going, you just let him go. Don't stop. Just go.
but you guys want to? So we're gonna, I guess, this Thursday coming up is the Xbox showcase. So we're gonna do some predictions on that, but I think first let's talk about what we've been playing, what we've been
Should be easy.
specifically.
Glad you've been playing it too, George. Fuck yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima. Tell you guys what.
Oh, that's what you were playing?
God damn
No
it.
No, just kidding.
Man, I tell you what, before we get into like the full thoughts, I gotta say, man, what a game that just makes me specifically just like in a good mood. I don't know. Like I'm just playing it and like I'm like the more I play it and the more like skills I get and the more the more I understand the combat more. Especially we have more tools. Like you really feel like a badass eventually. Like, oh crap, like I switch over to this stance. This and deal with that guy, then switch over to the other thing. Like once you like start filling up your skills and you have more tools, it just feels way better. Because at first I feel like it was a little bit more hit or miss the combat. Like I feel like it was always like Jose might have enjoyed this, Lee might have enjoyed the fact that it felt a little limited as far as like what you could do. So it felt like you have to like really be on your toes. You know what I mean? Whereas now I feel a little bit more agile and more. I can respond better in the game.
But I mean, so like, how many stances are you at right now? I'm assuming that you're like around 2 or 3 stances now.
2. I'm at 2.
Okay. All right. So you have what?
Stone and water.
And water, yeah, which is circle, right?
Yeah. So it's swords and shields, pretty much. Is what I have. But yeah, let's talk about this game. Let's start off with George. I want to hear your thoughts on this. How much have you played, by the way, George?
I played a little more today. I haven't checked to see how long I've actually played, like specific time wise. But I've played a good chunk. Like I have 2 stances also. I've upgraded the shit out of freaking my swords.
How you been going around the map and clearing out?
Yeah, I've just kind of been wandering around. I'm literally a wandering samurai right now.
You're Ronin. I mean, you see, that's where this game kind of like somehow does that like very fucking. I mean, it's not really somehow. You could just tell it's a beautiful game, but it just does it very well where you don't necessarily feel so caught up. Even though you kind of are in the sense where like this place is like a war field, that you can't really walk too far without a bunch of Mongols there to interrupt what you're doing. And then at that point, even then though, it's kind of like your choice. You could either completely ignore them, go around them, fight them straight on, or try to assassinate them. So the game does a lot about giving you choices, but this game is like very good at just like letting you do whatever it is that you want to do in the moment.
And it feels good. And
it
you know
does.
But you know what's the most important part about this? It like it lets you do whatever you want to do, and every activity, everything you do, you feel like you're getting something. So it never feels like you're wasting time. At least for me, where I'm at, it never feels like I'm like wasting time in any sort of way. It feels like I'm always either getting some supplies to upgrade my weapons. I'm getting some experience to upgrade myself. Like I'm always getting something, and I think that's very important. Like it hits the right endorphin notes, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get that little kick.
Does.
You get the little kick over and over again, and I think that's why the game.
It does because I give that game props in that sense where that's the thing where like I don't necessarily have to pop something to kind of like feel this sense of like accomplishment in almost everything that I do. Like you scaling the what is it, the temples and shit like that. They're not. I don't think they're actually called temples, but I'm falling short. The shrines. Yeah, the shrines, bro. Like that's nothing new. Those are like Assassin's Creed, fucking Far Cry mechanics. Climb the top of a fucking mountain through its puzzles, and then look at a fucking synchronization point type of shit, and then reward. But like every climb feels so like intricate in its own way. Type of shit. Like I haven't like yet climbed the same like face the same twice type of shit. Especially like after you get into the second half of the island, where I'm sure everyone knows, especially I think after the trailers, you get a hook, a hook on a rope type of shit. Which this we'll get to it, but this game needed a little bit more time for polish. But once you get the hook, the climbing is then like opened up a little bit more. It's not like a huge difference, but now that you have the hook, you can go about descending a lot faster. Like you could throw yourself off the side of a mountain, but if you know that there's a hook point somewhere near the bottom, you could grab that hook. So it becomes so much more fun. And then coming to the top of these shrines and just looking around and seeing how the land flows up and down throughout the mountains and hills, and then changes color from red to fucking gold forests to lush green, and then like a field of water. It's amazing seeing and adventuring, like going around. Like there's this off the side of the island, there's a giant fucking rock, and then from the main island to the rock itself, there's like this giant rope that goes from the main island and wraps around the rock. I was just so fucking fascinated, just like looking at that and wondering if I can just like jump on top of it and walk on the rope to the rock itself, swimming around the rock, trying to see if I can climb on top. Like it's just fun. Yeah.
Well, where do you land on that, George?
Yeah, it's like you're saying, it's just fun to play. Like may I add that the climbing mechanics are much more forgiving than Assassin's Creed.
It feels a lot like Infamous, like the climbing. It's like almost exactly the same as Infamous.
Yeah.
Like that same like jerky, just jump, grab, jump, grab.
Yeah, grab. You know I mean? Yeah. It's especially when you get the harpoon or the hook, whatever. It's back to that, like this game needed a little bit more polish. Like I feel like the hook was like a last type of thing addition. Like it literally came in like literally the end of the second quarter, third quarter, beginning of the third quarter of this game type of shit, where it was like someone came up with the idea or something broke. Something must have like broken in the game, because it doesn't feel like it was like an early idea type of thing. Something broke and they were like, well, we have to figure out a way so that these players can do this, or to get across this, something that mechanically makes sense. And then they put the hook in. But then everything that followed kind of didn't fall into place type of shit. Because it's really corny. It's really corny. Like I said, like you're at the top of a mountain and you could literally throw yourself off, and as long as it's there, you'll catch. But the way it catches is kind of weird. The way that you like go from one ledge and jump to then catch a hook above you, super corny, looks really weird, like really fucking weird.
I haven't.
You guys haven't gotten there, but you'll know.
It's at the end of the first island, because I saw specifically
exactly
the forger dude, what he used to make for you. I'm like, okay, so I'm guessing that's the hook thing that we seen in the trailer. But I think the sense of exploration in this game is really well done. There's no mini map, right? So the guiding, I love the fact that wherever your destination is, the wind is always facing that direction. It's always going that direction. So you don't even need to flick up on the touchpad, to use the guiding wind.
If you just pay attention.
Because the cool mechanic in this game that there's no waypoints or anything. You have the wind to guide you. So you flick up on the touchpad, and you see the wind go in the direction whatever marker you highlighted or whatever your objective is at. So you just go towards where the wind is going, and then you eventually come to your destination. But the cool thing is, if you see something up to the side, like, what the hell is that weird tree looking over there? You go over there, you'll find something. Oh, what the hell is that thing over there? You go over there, you find something. That's the best. What is that smoke? Yeah, like, what is the smoke over there? You go over there. Oh, it's a hot spring. Perfect.
This game is curated quite well in that sense where, like, every spot, every place is well placed. Every spot that you've missed because they have intentionally made the land that way, where chances are your first playthrough you're going to avoid, or you're gonna follow these like paths. Like I don't know how subconsciously or somehow they knew or they pathed it. And chances are you're gonna go through either this route A or this route B, and then later on, either you're clearing out the map, you're seeing the fog of war, and you want to clear it out, or a mission brings you that way, but somehow you happen to avoid it. And when you get there for the first time, there will be something there for you. If it's not something to look at, it's something to pick up. If it ain't a village, it's an encounter. It's always gonna be something to that piques interest.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, there's always something, and every single time you're rewarded with something. Like, even if it's like you have to kill some people, you get led to a mission, you kill some people, you get something out of it, some materials, some XP, something, and that's, I think, what really works for me specifically in playing this game, and it makes you feel like you just play at your own leisure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like doing missions. Let me just go out and just have a good time. And I'm pretty sure, George, that's how you're playing, right?
Yeah, it's just, you have to throw it on. It's fun after the depression there was Last of Us 2.
Dude, the Last of Us 2 broke my mind. So I needed this. This is like a Band-Aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, this is a good look in the other direction type of shit. Where like this game takes itself serious, but then it kind of doesn't at the same time, because like to all those like fucking people that like instantly.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It just feels better playing the game.
It feels better in a lot of ways, and for a lot of different reasons, because it's like what I was saying the like 2 episodes ago, the last time I was in the show. Like the game Last of Us 2 is a good game. It's not like, because like for example, like when we get to the polishing of Ghost of Tsushima, it's not like in Last of Us. Like I'm like fucking skidding across the map when I fucking punch an enemy type of shit. I got stuck in an animation where I punch an enemy, but now I'm being flung across the map. It's not like all of a sudden my fucking neck is spinning around like The Exorcist, breaking animations type of shit. It's not like all of a sudden I'm stuck reloading or something. Like there's a really like fine-tooth comb to what Last of Us does. The game is still good, just wasn't exactly what I want to be in for, not what I was looking for, or not necessarily something that I want to dabble in right now. I don't know. I wasn't fully committed.
That's perfect what you said, because Last of Us is a fucking commitment. Especially, George, I don't know if you agree with me. What Last of Us is trying to do, I've never seen a game try to do what it's trying to do. You know what I mean? Like,
I completely agree.
I've never played a game that tries to manipulate you and do what it does. And make, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, pretty much. Like, well, like it takes it even, because like, you know, the first Last of Us was very like, oh, like this game is trying to say something. Last of Us 2 that goes even further in that direction. you think you know what a game is about, and then I think it's, I don't know about you, George, but it was like near the end where I figured, oh, this is what this game is. You know what I mean? Like, this is what this game really is. It's not really this whole thing that the trailer was trying to make it seem it was, or the leaks or whatever. It's something different. It has that element, but like it's more than that.
I kind of had an idea of what it was for most of it. It's just constantly kept going. Was another issue.
Dude, like Last of Us
had more endings than Lord of the Rings.
Yo, I was telling Lee that, I'm like, yo, you know the game you think is done, and like I felt like they put all the DLC in here. You know what I mean? It felt like all the DLC got put in this game. Like all the like.
We're not gonna make you buy DLC here. Get it?
Yeah, yikes! Here we are. Well, a few weeks ago, we were complaining about not having DLC now. Yikes, guys. But
I'm telling you, I was playing the game. I thought I was in the end. And I messaged George and Gabe. I was like, yo, I think I'm near the end. Where are you? Oh, I'm in so-and-so. Like, no, you got like 10 hours left. I'm like, how? What are you talking about 10 hours left? What the fuck are you talking about 10 hours? How could
they get where?
I know, but then they figure out a way. Anyways, back to Ghost of Tsushima. See, again, Last of Us is trying to do something new, trying to push the medium forward, all this shit. Ghost of Tsushima isn't doing that, but it's just a good fucking time. I'm loving it. The more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it. It is rough around the edges, but like all.
Yeah, it's definitely a jagged edge. It's definitely a jagged edge.
The setting, the colors, everything have. Even the combat now, like for me, everything is
if I'm going to put on my like fake mustache and my top hat and try to get into some highbrow gaming type of shit, like this is like Kingdom. What is it? Kingdom Come? Is it Kingdom Come? Deliverance. Yeah. So, like, this is, like, the first game, and then
we lost him.
Did we? I know, he just disappeared.
Hey. What happened? He muted?
I don't know.
Sorry, you lost it for a second.
Yeah, we lost it.
The Kingdom Come Deliverance does that. So, like I was saying, yeah, I feel like we've gone full circle. Why does this feel like episode fucking like 2 or 3 now from back in the day? So Kingdom Come Deliverance approaches video games in a different way, where it tries to be like super pseudo realistic in a sense, but they do it well where it still feels like a game. But not only that, they're following this type of history or something that actually happened in real life. Now, before we get all those whippies that think whatever happened in this game actually happened in real life, this is an extreme exaggeration of what I believe happened in both different instances, because I think that island was attacked twice by the Mongols.
Twice. It was twice.
So I think it's like both those attacks put into one story in this game type of shit. Because there's a lot of like things that like before the game came out, I looked into, and I'm like, as playing it, I'm like, this isn't what really happened, but it's okay.
Yeah, because I think the only thing they kept is the fact that they got invaded by the Mongols. After that,
and the 80 samurai that you hear in the beginning of the game. Those are the only things that are like legit. That island got attacked, and the 80 samurai that you hear in the beginning. But even then, I don't think I think very few names are actual names of
that's all made up. I think it's all made up.
I think all of them are made up. But I think maybe the sea. Huh?
I believe they've already come out and said that that's completely fictional story. So.
Okay.
Within a actual thing that happened, but it's a fictional story within. Because obviously everything in this game is really goes into like Japanese spiritualism and all that stuff, which I love.
Exactly. But this is where I'm like, where again I go back to twist my mustache, my fake mustache, and I'm hoping that more developers or more studios follow through, or like we have so much to go by. We have so much history that's fun, that's depressing, that's inspirational, that's all of those noises that you can turn into a game. You could teach people, or you could learn them something, or you can give them an experience towards watching. Because now after I finish Ghost of Tsushima, I'm just waiting for like the Sengoku era. Now I want motherfuckers to make a video game about all the fucking like a game like Ghost of Tsushima, but with like the ideas of fucking Dynasty Warriors, where you have all these different fucking. No. Hold on. Not not like that. Not the whole cheap fucking fighting and like that, but like you have the stories of all these houses, all these families, all these clans that have their own ambitions, that have their own story, and then you have a choice to play them and try to conquer Japan.
Yo, let me tell you about a little game.
Based on those lives.
Let me tell you about a little game called Fire Emblem. Now, it's not based on real Japan, but it's anime version of Japan.
I bet.
Let's talk about the character, the main character. I like him. I don't know, like he's not the most fleshed out character.
You really like him?
So far, he's not the most fleshed out character or anything. He's not like I don't know. It's just, to me, I could kind of feel for him, where he's going, but like again, I like him not in the sense like, oh, he's a fucking great character. Just like, yeah, he's giving me enough reason to root for him. You know, just root for whatever he's trying to do, and like that's about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you know where I think that's where that's coming from. I think it's because all three of us are playing it in Japanese. I think we're both three smart people, and we're playing it in Japanese with English subtitles. Because, bro, I was watching someone play the beginning of it with English fucking dub, bro, and the fucking acting is so fucking spot on. You could practically fucking see their mouths moving. And I mean, again, I'm joking with this. Obviously, their mouths move, and the words aren't like the words that are coming out aren't actually in sync. But it feels like one of those movies, like what is it, Kung Pao? Like what is it? Can you pass me the chicken? The mouth hasn't moved yet, and then all of a sudden, when in silence, the mouth is moving. Everything is super corny.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, I know. All complaints have been the opposite.
I feel like the English version is fucking hilarious.
The English version is the actual actors.
I feel like the English version is hilarious.
Dude,
to me, it's like so breaking when you try to hear them try to do the accents when they try to get hard, and then all of a sudden it feels like they're forcing accents type of shit. Where it's
to me, the Japanese accents feel more like if you listen to Jin specifically in Japanese, he always feels monotone.
Exactly, but
samurai, whatever. But in the English version, because that's the actual actor, like the mouth actually matches the what they're saying. But you feel a sense of like, I don't know how to describe it, George. You know what I mean? Like there's more to him. Like you get a little more
the actual actor doing the.
Yeah, but you get a little more nuance in the voice that I didn't get in the Japanese version. If you know, I don't know, because I understand.
Well,
exactly
that's because I think that's because we get lost in translation because we don't speak Japanese. Because there's certain words, there's certain things where I can hear them saying Japanese, and then I'm reading, I'm like, yeah, that's not what he said. I know that for a fact. Like that's not at all what he said. So like I'm sure
that was another complaint from in reviews that apparently the translation isn't accurate at all.
I bet because there's been a bunch of scenes where like there's things that they say and I'm like no, that's not what he said. I may not know what he actually said in Japanese, but I recognize the word in Japanese and that's not what it meant in English.
I think sometimes they have to change things a little bit because some things just don't make sense in Japanese that we might say in English. Maybe sayings and stuff. But let's move on now before we continue talking too much. So we talked about exploration.
Well, things we don't know.
The explorations. You know one thing about this game? You guys, man, I wish Gabe was here. None of you guys played Breath of the Wild. So,
no.
But this game has a huge splash of Breath of the Wild all over it. The vibe. It feels like a Japanese game. like I don't know when I like it just feels like a Japanese game. Like, and then I'm like, yo, but this game feels a lot like Breath of the Wild. Like the whole exploration shit is a lot like it. The whole looking at something, going over there, and finding something is a lot like Breath of the Wild. And then I'm like, yo,
I believe it. Like how you always told me, like how you always told me how like you can find yourself going through a region and it's almost like built so that you find something at the end of it. You'll look, you're at the top of a mountain. You're at the top of a mountain and you see like this nook between two different areas, between a valley of sand and a mountainous region, but you can see like this spot in between, and you have this urge to go figure out. You could see two definite things between you and it, and so on and so forth. But you want to something there is more interesting. You have these two examples, or you have these two things you can go to, but there is something in between that this game does where you always want to go figure out what is that. What's that over there? There's a mountain to my left. There's a village to my right. Obvious things, but there's always something in between. That's like, oh, what's this like little hidden village over here? What's this like random like a thicket of bamboo? This forest of bamboo, but it just feels out of place. But it's not once you get there.
Yeah, everything feels like it was designed. Like, oh, there's little things, these little steps that you could climb up. They're there for a reason. You know what I mean? Climb up, you keep going that way, you'll find something. And it's interesting because I remember Nate Fox, the director. I remember a while back they were like interviewing him about like Breath of. I think he said that was Breath of the Wild was his favorite game. So, and then like right here, let me read this quote. I just looked up right now because I remember seeing something like this. So basically he says, Nate Fox, the director, he says while we were working on the game, it is from GameReactor.com. While we were working on the game, Breath of the Wild came out, and I think it really invigorated us in trying to look harder at making curiosity and discovery an even richer component of the game. It was just so refreshing that the game asked you to pay attention and reward your curiosity. It helped us to have the courage to go even further by crafting our game world with that same level of mystery. And you feel that everywhere. Like that's what I mean. That vibe. It's not like exactly like Breath of the Wild, but the vibe that like it does it differently. But like that vibe of like exploring is there, and you could see Breath of the Wild all over this game, like all over it.
And the way they do it though as well, like I feel like it's definitely different. But the way that they go about, like I feel they're paying so much respect to the culture as well. Oh yeah. Like every place that you go, like feels like this mystic area. This almost like sense of godly. Like I'm not even joking. Like there's these hidden areas that are like so off the beaten path that you go to, and like literally like your whole mood will change. Like you'll get this like sense of fucking Bushido and Zen where it's like this like whoa, like this every place like you go to is literally backdrop. It's wallpaper, it's screensaver. It's so great and so homey to look at.
Dude, trust me. I don't know about George. I know George grew up playing a lot of JRPGs, like so did I. There's a sense of nostalgia you get from playing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you never lived in Japan, you get some sort of like nostalgia from seeing a lot of, like, I don't know if you did the like quest in the Lost Woods or whatever. A lot of Japanese games have that Lost Woods everywhere. You know what I mean? Like in their games, like that's a motif that they always use, like the whole, and you see it here. And you see the lantern to guiding you, like all that stuff is like very Japanese. That it's been like, so all that stuff, like all that spirituality, like with the fox and all that stuff, obviously, right? You see it in a lot of the Japanese games that we were playing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Have either you tried playing Kurosawa mode?
No.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I did it from the beginning. I did it.
I started like that, but then I kept losing the freaking bird. I was supposed to follow it, so I had to put the color up because like I can't see the bird. Where the hell did it go?
So sometimes,
I think
quick little side,
second playthrough. I think that's
a
good
little
for like
note.
Plus. Yeah.
With the bird, chances are sometimes though, like you're on your way to wherever like your waypoint is set.
He just takes you exactly where you were.
He'll take you pretty much to, because a lot of it is it's like curious points points of interest, he'll take you to a point of interest.
Yeah, but I had a bird a few times. Like I'm going one direction, especially
and it'll pull you.
Yeah, it usually happens when like you're going somewhere further away. As you're going, the bird comes up and it leads you like you do a beeline. Next thing you know, you end up on a different side quest or something. I think this is a perfect time now to like before we wrap it up, talk about let's talk about the combat real quick and then the parts that we don't like. So the combat, George, where you at with it? Are you liking it?
I like the fact that it is challenging at first, and you have to kind of get used to the basics. You can't just jump up and like jump into something else.
You cannot button mash this one. You really have to like. Really
I've gotten pretty damn good at the freaking timing of the counterings and everything now. So
yeah.
Easier.
So for me, I haven't necessarily taken. I'm so like taken away or taken back by the adventuring. Or pretty much the what is it? The journey, not necessarily the end. So I haven't necessarily like actually like picked the combat and the fighting apart. But to say that I'm not constantly surprised would be an understatement, because there are points like I'm like, it's like you said, once you get to the other island, like you think you're straight. I pretty much cleared the first part of the island. I pretty much cleared everything, all the check marks as far as I can find.
And the beginning island is fucking huge. Jesus.
Yeah, it's chunky. It's chunky. Yeah. They did something well, spacing it all apart and shit. The sizing of it, is pretty well done. But so all that's cleared, and I'm pretty beefy. I have a bunch of.
Be careful.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. I have a good amount of the skills and whatnot. But then once you get to the second half, they kind of like shit on you in a sense, where the AI is smarter. They're a little bit tougher. Not to mention bigger health.
Dude, that is a Zelda thing. That's the exact Zelda does the exact same thing. That there's a beginning thing that you do usually, and then after that, like, then the world opens up, and then it's like, it hammers you back down. Like, I think you're good, and it fucking boom,
yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
With that being said, I'm wondering if they're gonna put something in game, whether it's a charm or an ability, that kind of puts you back up, because the duel specifically, the duels in the second island are almost so unpredictable that for one, let me put my handicap. I do have a handicap where I have my PlayStation connected to my Xbox, which is then connected to my TV. So there might be some latency. There might be some.
What do you mean there might be some
delay.
Latency? That's a lot of latency.
Shut up.
Christ.
Shut up. Shut up.
Dude, you did not have to admit this. Like,
I'm a very honest person, all right?
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, I mean, that's the only way I can call me. I guess
you're killing me.
Shut up. I still do pretty well, I think, honestly. I do pretty damn good.
There's like a second and a half delay, dude. How the hell can you play that game?
Then
How can you play anything?
I'll probably be a god when
That's worse than, dude. Streaming, you'll do fine streaming. Like you can play fighting games streaming. You're like, that's fine. Jesus Christ.
Pretty much, bro.
I didn't know this part. He just blew my mind. Go ahead, continue.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm choking up. But yeah, so now you see my handicap, right? So during the duels, bro, they're so unpredictable in the next island. So you know how in the first island they'll faint, right? They'll twitch towards you to make you think they're about to swing and whatnot.
Yeah.
They'll try to punk you and whatnot into letting go of the triangle button. In the second island, bro, it's so much worse, because in the first, they'll give you cues. They're slower with their swing. Like, instead of being a direct blow or a direct jab, they'll like curl their arm. They'll spin their arm they'll swing their arm back before they come into the jab to give you enough time to respond. In the second island, you're dealing with like the actual enemy. You're not dealing with, because what the Mongols did, quote unquote, is that they'll send in their fodder first to attack, right? To try to to find weaknesses, to gate the enemy or gauge the enemy, and then the back line is the actual fighters, the horse archers, the horsemen and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the second island is full of the pros, the motherfuckers that are gonna come and kick your ass. I kind of want to spoil and shit like that. To say like one specific enemy that's there, but that gives me like one of the biggest trouble. But it's like you feel like a wimp once you, or at least I do, after like doing so well. I probably win like maybe 1 out of every 10 to 15 duels in the second island because
I feel
because they're so because like for one.
Yeah.
There's like four or five different types of enemies, like styles, you have your archer, your regular swordsman, a berserker, the big boys, and then like two newer ones that get introduced into the second island pretty much, or towards the end of the first one, but I'm pretty sure it's into the second island. And they all have their own like mannerisms pretty much. They all have their own they all pose differently. They all have different ranges between you and them at the start of the fight type of shit. So your brain is trying to take in all this information and then trying to react to all that different information when they're coming at you. Or at least that's how I process it. So for example, a pikeman is standing at you pretty much. He's two to three men distance in front of you, so he's pretty far. So it gives you enough room to react. But from the first to second part of the island, the way they react is completely different. Whereas in the first island, they're like more they're more held back, more I guess like more like kind of like fretful, or they think about they think about before their actions before they do it. So you see some hesitation. In the second island, it's so direct. It's just like you'll think they're gonna they're trying to feint you, or they're gonna try to punk you, but no, it's a direct jab. You're waiting for them to do a yell. No, it's just so instant. It's so sudden. It's so bro, I feel like a bitch sometimes.
Yeah,
I really do.
But I think the point is that build yourself up again. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but I feel like by the end,
so.
you're like when you're like almost clearing out everything, like you're gonna be already kicking those guys' ass the same way, because the whole point is to maybe you'll learn. Because I feel like at the beginning of this game, I feel like I wasn't doing that well in the combat. I don't know you, George, but like I wasn't doing that well. Like
I felt the same way.
Yeah, I felt like really.
I died a lot to start.
Yeah, me too. And I felt like I didn't want to get into combat. Like, oh fuck, I see somebody that got some of the road. I get away from them.
Really?
Now, since it clicked,
do you remember who was giving you the most trouble? Like which enemy types were giving you the most trouble?
Like for me, the problem I had was timing. Like timing the parry, and then trying to pay attention to like arrows and the shield guys. Like I wasn't, for some reason, like the rules didn't click together. Now the rules click. And now I know automatically, like, now I jump into battle. You know what I mean? Like, I jump in and I know I could take people out. Like, I know how to parry. I know how to switch my stance to this guy. I know how to dodge around this guy. Like, at first, I think I had hard trouble, like, juggling all of these things at once. Because it's a similar thing to, like, Batman, right? Like, the Arkham games, like, they'll throw the dudes with electric batons, right? They'll throw dudes with shields. Like, you have to do different things for them. But they do it a lot more slowly in those games. This one, it feels like it throws it up right at the get. Like everybody with shields, everybody with the berserker guys, you know what I mean? The big guys, everybody at once. So so I felt like it took me a while just to learn that. But once I did, like now I'm really enjoying the combat. I think the animation, when it's working correctly, when you're taking it slow and like taking your time like actual samurai, it looks fucking fantastic. I don't know, I saw this dude like just coming after me and I just slashed him one hit. I'm like, what the hell was that for? It wasn't even a duel or anything. Like it was just like with him 1-on-1. He came running after me, and I went to hit him, and they just slashed him. And I thought that was really fucking cool.
So that's where I was saying where like I haven't eaten this game up, but I think you know how like I have like and that's another thing where maybe like I didn't have that much trouble because of Sekiro. I know like maybe the first few minutes. Like the first few like maybe 30 minutes trying to actually like understand the game, like maybe I felt I was fumbling about a little bit, but after that everything flowed pretty well. But what I'm trying to see is how far the game goes with its combat, because like you said, like this game surprises me sometimes where I'm like, wait a second, I've never seen that before. I've never, like, the way that I ended the fight, the way that I killed this dude, I've played probably easily over like 10 hours now. Just going about searching. I'm maybe two, I'm in Act 2 and maybe 2 missions into Act 2. Pretty much. And I don't know how many acts there are. I don't think there's many. I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end of the game already. Honestly, it feels that way.
I think there's 3 acts.
There's 3, yeah. Feels that way. So, so the combat, like all I've been doing is pretty much fighting and traversing. But there's something that like every once in a while, like I get so fucking prized. Especially for one, you have like 4 different fighting styles, and I think they of course they know this, but they probably know how much you'll transition from one to the other. So if you're fast enough, you can start a series of attacks, of combos with one fighting stance, and mid combo switch to another stance, and it will flow. Instead of like jerk into an attack, he'll flow. Flow like and like to certain people. What does flow mean? What does flow mean? Especially in a video game. What do you mean? Like it's hard to explain. But imagine
the animations blend in correctly. Like the animations feel like it feels natural. As if you're like all of a sudden change state. It legit feels like he's actually switching the stances like in real time.
And so much so in real time that I think I've literally seen moves where it's like it's like in fighting games you have like obviously there's like these frames that penetrate that you can go under, over, around, that you can't block. You can't dodge on dodgeables and whatnot. But I've seen this fucking dude go under blades and under axes, under the pipes.
Oh yeah.
It's just like these like moves that like I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
I saw him. Some dude slash him from behind. Like from time to time, I don't know if you guys still see this. Mm-hmm. I see an animation I've never seen before. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I never seen it.
That's what I mean. Where like.
I saw this dude. Somebody slashed from behind, and he ducked. And legit, like he threw his sword under his from like how do you say that? Like from like he just flipped the sword around and just stabbed backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, holy shit! Like, and I've only seen that once. Like that's what I mean. Like sometimes from time to time that happens. I don't know what causes that to happen, but it looks cool. Can I ask you guys a question?
Bunch. Yeah, go ahead.
What the hell? Like, what's the rules with the kunai? So, this was
the kunai. Okay, this is what I mean. So, I guess we could, before we get too far into it, we're gonna get into polish. I think I know where you're probably gonna get at, bro. The kunais don't the path. You'll see a plume. You'll see like the plume of smoke following or the wind you're breaking from the kunai going in that direction. But if the enemy's to your left, it's gonna hit the enemy. You might have thrown straight, but if the enemy's to your left, it's gonna kill the enemy to the left. The kunais,
I see them curve out of like in the air. Like,
bro, it makes no sense. The kunais make no sense. They're super OP, but I don't.
No, but that's the part. I don't know, George, if this happens to you. There's the part that confuses me. So, George, have you used the kunai enough times in the game?
Not a lot. I've used it a couple times.
So this is what happens.
Usually by accident.
Yeah. At first, how it was. So I walked into a base, and these guys were in front of me, and I used the kunai and killed them both. One hit, boom. right to the neck. But then other times it just takes the shield away. So I'm like, wait, the same type of enemy type. Like, I don't know, like, what the deal is. Like, so now I'm not sure if it's, like, actually going to kill them or going to stun them. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
So there are different enemy ranges and like strength. Like the different color of what they're wearing kind of symbolizes their strength and whatnot. But for the most part, if the kunai connects, a lot of times it's like a one-hit kill. Even for like most strong enemies, I think it has to do mostly if they can see you type of shit. If they're aware of you, it probably won't kill them one hit, but it'll get them to one. But then your next hit will probably kill them. If the kunai connects.
But that's the part that I've been confused. I'm like, wait, so for me, there's been more times that it doesn't kill them than it does. So I was like, okay, so like I've gone to bases now, and like I'm like, I don't want to use this. There's two guys in front of me, and it's an easy two shot kill. But if I use it, I don't know if like they're gonna alert everybody. You know what I mean? They're not really dying off of this. So like that's the confusing part that I've had with the kunai. But I think we should probably move on to just real quick what we don't like about the game. Yeah. And I'll set the table real quick by saying that the main thing that I don't like from the game so far, I can't say the main story because I just haven't played enough of it. I've only got like two or three story missions. Everything else has been like the side stuff. The side stuff is fine. That's what I mean. It's just fine. Like there's some really cool setup. There's some really cool setup for some stuff that ends up just being okay. Like let's talk about the like minor spoilers for the beginning, but like the whole forest thing, right? Like the whole forest of the ghost, the samurai ghost. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I believe so. I think at the end of the day, I did that one pretty much right after we had that conversation.
Yeah,
I think I ended up doing it.
So that thing is so cool. So it looks super cool, right? When you're in there, all the lanterns and everything is super awesome. But at the end of the day, it was like just 4 bandits. Like it just didn't do anything. Like it was a cool setup that didn't go anywhere. If you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So that's where, I think that's where this game pretty much. I keep looking for some stuff like that where like it's really crossing the boundary into like, this is a game, or I don't think I'm gonna get that. I'm almost expecting. I'm here waiting for like a dragon to present me a move type of shit. It keeps like. But I think that's what it's trying to like beat into your head type. Beat into your head type of shit. Where again, it's kind of like paying a lot of homage to the culture, where people would say like, "Oh shit, there's a ghost over here. Oh crap, there's a demon that's plaguing this village," and shit like that. But then often enough, it ends up just being a person type of shit. It ends up being this very exaggerated story of a person. Like even in your story, as you're playing it, people start to like exaggerate your story a little bit type of shit. Like, you sacked this whole thing, but then they'll interpret it as differently as they're telling other villagers that weren't there, and like you don't know whether to shake your head or kind of like smile type of shit. So it's funny, but like I keep waiting for like this super outer worldly being to show up and like give me something or fight, but then I don't get it.
Yo, this dude's expecting Shenron to come out of fucking nowhere.
I'm expecting something. I'm dead ass expecting just something.
See, but for me, it's not even that. Like, that'll be cool. But to me, it's just like, even if it's a setup, is like, haha, like Scooby Doo style. You know what I mean? Like, there's a dude under the mask, whatever. Like, even if it's like something like that, or even if it's just something like, it was just a villager. Oh, it was this. Like, it just feels like it just doesn't count. Like, it does not well told. Even if it's just like, this whole thing was fake, but these guys pulling the, it's like Wizard of Oz. Like, it was these guys doing all the whole thing the entire time. Like, that's fine. But it's just, I feel like it's even that aspect is not done interestingly enough. if you know, like it's not well written or something. I don't know. It's always like it starts out cooler than you think the mission will end up cooler than what it ends up. So aside from that, I think the bug is the game, like not bugs, but like the glitchiness of it takes me out from time to time. Like one time I was following the bird and the bird just got stuck by a tree. So I'm like, okay, so I guess I don't know where you're going now. So like I had to and I followed this bird for a while.
Yeah, bro, dude, the glitches in this game kind of.
I've gone. I legit thought for a second that I was in quicksand because I was sinking to the ground. I'm like, oh shit, it's quicksand, and then he just popped right back up. He popped right back up, and I'm like, oh, okay, it was just the collision with the ground. Little things like that, but also the I don't like the other thing. Also, is that sometimes things are out of order. So that's what makes me feel like they opened up the game after they designed the game, like how the missions took, like how I think originally they had like a more like, oh, like these side quests come out after a certain, like after you talk to a specific person, that this unlocks this side quest. Like I think the other games have done that before. Like you do one mission that unlocks the fox.
The set of the other set of missions, and
exactly.
Definitely that's definitely probably it because I
think they
you'll feel that
afterwards.
You'll feel that in the second part of the island the most, where like they'll start talking about shit like you were telling me the other day, like you talked to like a lady and she was telling you about the foxes and their nature and kind of some lore behind them. Even though you just like fucking 5 minutes ago, you just did 6 of them type of shit.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'll start doing that from now on. I'm like, I just did them.
Well, that happened to me like 4 different times in the second half of the island, where it's like, yeah, I know that going up to the top of the shrines will probably benefit me in whatever meta. You get what I'm saying? Because I've just done like it's just like this is too little, too late. It would have like it kind of some of those things will kind of at least they broke for me, where it was like, yeah, I know I already like sacked like 7, like again, like if I said specifically one of them, it kind of like be a little bit of spoilers, but I'm like once he started talking to me, it's like, yeah, bro, cool story.
I've been doing that. That also happened to me with the haikus today. The lady was talking about the haikus. He's like, yeah, I should start doing that. I'm like, oh, come on. But
yeah, bro.
It just feels to me like they just unlocked everything instead of keeping you gated for time. I think they just unlocked everything and says you could go anywhere you want. There's out of order. They could do anything in any order you want. So like those things come out of order. But hey George, what things? Yeah, we should probably start. Wrap it up. Like talk about the predictions and so let's just give your guys' thoughts on what you guys don't like about the game or whatever, like misgivings or whatever. George, if you want to go.
I mean, I haven't gotten into too much, but a lot. What I don't like is the lack of like targeting system.
Oh,
because sometimes I'm just lost, like completely turned around, and I'm like, oh shit. Fuck, where'd they go? And then I get slashed from behind. I'm like, oh, there he is.
That is a curve. It is a learning curve. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm used to it now. But like at first, like it was a pain in the butt. Also, fucking George, unlock the parrying arrows. That's one of the first things. Just try to get that.
Yeah.
That fucking helps so much. So you don't fucking get shot by arrows left and right.
Arrows left and right, and you could hear them at least and get ready, type of shit.
Oh, that's awesome too. They predict, like you see them duck, like you know already.
Yeah, that's cool. Exactly. Yeah. They duck, you duck, type of shit. They dodge, you dodge.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But so this game is like writhing with glitches. Like I don't know if you felt it yet, George, but like they're absolutely everywhere. Cutscenes that won't continue because the audio isn't playing, type of shit. So you're stuck on a cutscene that won't go, or like when you're like, oh, examine what's on the floor, these footsteps, but then there's nothing. It's just you examining it, because it's waiting for the line that won't come up. So you're stuck. Reboot, quit, whatever you need to do. Fucking getting launched across the map. I raged to Jose for like fucking 10 minutes straight how I got on a horse and I was just stuck on the horse, and it was meandering like if it was a stray. Like, you know, when you go to like or you do a duel and you got a bunch of those Mongols off their horses are kind of still in the area type of shit.
Yeah.
So I called my horse, and my horse ended up going alongside the stray horse, and I accidentally hopped on. I didn't think much of it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. For a few seconds, for the first time in like 6 hours, I hop on another horse that isn't mine. I'm sure Kage will be super jealous. But then after like a few seconds, I start to notice my actions weren't my own. This horse was moving on its own. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I try to correct. I wouldn't correct. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to get on my horse. I couldn't get off the horse. It was stuck in this state as if it was a random horse. It was stuck in this state where it was still thinking it was free to itself and trying to stay around this area type of shit. My head wanted to blow, bro. The one of the most like infuriating F4s I had to do. Yep, I had to quit. Yep, I've had to quit probably from things breaking where I'm at a stop. Probably like 5 to 6 different times. It doesn't sound a lot,
thank God,
but it is to me that's a lot. Like because I guess the short amount of time the long amount of time that I've played in short periods, or in the long intervals that I do stretch and play, it happens too much. It happens way too much. I'll blink a few times and then here it goes, about to break. Let me get ready to restart my fucking game or quit the game and start it back up. Type of shit.
That sucks. That hasn't happened to me like that to that extent. Like I get like what do you call it? Like jank. You know what I mean? Like some jank.
A bunch of jank shit. Yeah.
I've gotten bugs here and there, but nothing game breaking. How about you, George? Anything game breaking you've gotten?
The most I had is that it got stuck on when I'm supposed to find some footprints, and it wouldn't pop up, even though I'm following the footprints, and it kept telling me to go back. I'm like, no, I found them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it might be the same thing. So something, so I found the footprints, right? And it does the whole inspect. So I inspected. It said no line or anything. You just looked down at the ground, got back up, and I'm like, okay. What the hell was it? Like, I think it was one of the first ones.
Yep.
So I'm going in circles, like, what am I supposed to do? And then I got out, and it's like, go back to search area. So I went back into the search area, and then I think it was an NPC or somebody with me that was like, oh, now follow the footsteps that you just found. Like, he started saying the line that was supposed to say what he was looking at. So
imagine being stuck on that examine screen. That's happened to me a few times.
Oh, that thank God has happened to me. Thank God. But I think even with the jank, again, I haven't had those type of bugs, so I can see that being a lot frustrating. Like my standard is this. The Witcher 3 is the game, since at the beginning, that I played that was like the most buggiest game I've ever played in my life, like at the beginning. And even with that game is still my favorite game, like one of my favorite games of all time. So the bar for me is kind of low, right? So when it comes to stuff like that, this game has nowhere reached that level. Mind you, The Witcher got fixed a lot, like in the first week.
Yeah,
right?
first week.
So, this game, just jank. And I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time.
No, exactly. I'm loving it too. I'm enjoying it and I guess even saying it out of my mouth is kind of tough, but I am enjoying it a lot.
It was weird saying it. It's like telling your girlfriend for the first time, you just pops off. I love that shit. Did everybody say that?
What, did I just fucking say that? But it's super fun to play. Easily recommendable. Easily recommendable. I easily tell some random motherfucker just buy it, bro. Just get it. Like it's dumb not to. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing in 2020 in fucking July and you don't have this game right now and you have a PlayStation? What the fuck are you waiting for?
And it's next console? Perfect. And it's perfect because like there's nothing coming out.
Right? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You have all this time. You have all this time to play this game that came out and it's good. for once it's a game that came out and it's like actually giving you something to give back into. So so like but they like definitely they should go back, throw in some DLCs, update it every week type of shit, because I want more of this game. I want more.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you guys what, before we move on, the most exciting thing about this game, believe it or not, like besides the game itself and how much fun I'm having and how good it is, besides that point, the exciting part about this is that you realize, wait a minute, this is a great fucking foundation for this franchise. Like, this makes you head wonder what the sequel will be like, because you know for a fact the sequel got greenlit. Right?
I mean, yes, but then that's what scares me though. That's what scares me in the industry where the temperature is pretty much beat a dead horse, or beat the horse until it's dead. If that, I mean, I just put that fucking phrase out of my ass, pretty much. It's just like it worked. It worked for what it is, for what the game is trying to say, for what the story's being told. It's working fine. It's going to work all the way up until the end. We'll find out. What will the second game look like? It's like I said, like now I want the whole Sengoku era. I want to see all these fucking clans fighting each other and picking a clan that you favor, whether because because this color looks better with you, it resonates more, or the symbol, you like the symbol better. Maybe the people, you like the people's morals more, etc., etc. Maybe you just want to be a fucking tribal man all the way in the north. But I want a game like this to continue forward.
Oh yeah, I think the beautiful thing is I think Sony gives the developers the freedom to do whatever the hell they want. Think about it. They legit let them make this game. You know what I mean? Like, how long have people been asking for a Japanese Assassin's Creed, right? Like, and they were making what? So they were making Sly Cooper, right? They got done with that. They made Infamous. They got done with that. Now they're doing this. So I think Sony's letting the developers just do whatever they want, and go for it. And I'm glad of that. You know what I mean? Like if this was Ubisoft or EA, or I'd be afraid. Like, oh crap, I don't know if I can trust these guys to continue with this. But I trust that Sony will allow them, unless next gen everything fucking changes. At this point, I trust that Sony will allow them to actually. They have that foundation now. You know what I mean? All those years that it took just to figure out what the game was. That part is done, if you think about it a little bit. It's more about what other stuff can we add to this? How can we improve this? How can we make this even a better living world? Like all this other stuff, right? Like maybe, you know how the whole exploration stuff. Remember, Zelda came out 2017, so 3 years ago they started playing, and this game already been in development for 4 before that. So after 3 years before the game came out, they even went more into the exploration. So imagine now starting from the beginning with that template
in mind. Yeah.
So you figure the exploration will even be better. They could figure out different ways, maybe even more different type of activities and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys have anything else to add, so we can just move on and do our predictions and call it a day. Unless there's George, any news on the movies thing?
Not really. Just theaters open and close.
Yeah,
movies
right.
getting pushed back.
Grand opening and closing. Yep.
Facts.
Other than the biggest report that came out is that they predict that theaters won't even open till officially back to normal running till mid to late 2021. So
shit. Oh, I'm shocked. All right. So yeah, any final thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima? What, just give one final thought, each of you.
It's just so hard because there's so much in that
That's
thought.
what she said.
Should we make a haiku? See, I should have had a haiku ready for this.
I know you guys should have. How is it? 3
5 7 5 7 5. You illiterate fuck.
Oh Jesus. I'm not gonna count. Next week. So George, any final thoughts on Ghost?
I'm just looking forward to just enjoying more wandering around and getting into shenanigans.
Oh hell yeah! I can't wait to get back to playing it. To be honest, that's where I'm at with it. Whereas Last of Us 2, I was like, oh god, I gotta continue playing this.
I didn't feel that bad with Last of Us 2. It was just like the pressure of going. More so, like I had to take a little deep breath before it started.
The second half, where the game switches things up on you, I'm like, oh fuck, what?
I actually feel like I like the second half better than the first half.
Yeah, I like the second half better after I was done. If you know what I mean. When I was able to think about it more, again, I like the better. Like I was telling Lee, whenever he goes back to play that game, because you really need to be into it because it throws so much at you. Yeah. If the second half of the game does not work for you, the whole game doesn't work for you. That's pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, if that second part, you like out of it not caring, forget about it. That's it. The game, you won't care by the end, I feel like. I don't see how any way you can like the game without like at least understanding the second half, if you know what I mean. Not liking it, but at least understanding it. Or understanding what they were trying to do. I don't know. Just my thoughts on that. Yeah, so this Thursday is the Xbox Showcase, the mythical, finally, Xbox Showcase, where it feels like the whole brand is riding on the showcase. So yeah, let's give each of us some 3 predictions, what we expect. So far, all we know is that Halo Infinite will be there. Campaign gameplay. And that's about it. And then they said they're gonna show some first party stuff and show off some stuff that they already announced. So I'm guessing Hellblade, maybe see some gameplay of that finally. Stuff like that. So yeah, let's kick up some predictions real quick. First of all, to start with Lee, do you think overall what does this thing need to do for you? What does this show need to do for you? Like either announcement or something. Like overall, what does it need to do for you?
All right. The thing is that this Xbox has they're on the back pedal. They've been on the bottom of the hill, fucking climbing up, and they have so much to prove. And the thing is that they need to prove it, because if they do not set the bar, if they're not the ones to set the bar, it's looking pretty dark. That's how I feel right now. It's looking pretty dark in the gaming industry as a whole. And it's funny how I'll easily weigh it on the shoulder of Xbox, because the thing is I feel like PlayStation will always mosey along. PlayStation will always do what PlayStation does. Nintendo will always do what Nintendo does. But Xbox has always been
Sega.
What?
That's what Nintendo.
What?
Continue. George, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, did you just bring that old ass slogan back?
Nintendo does. Sega do. What? Fuck, yo, bro.
Sega does what Nintendo. Right.
I want to hit you so bad right now, bro. But
that's true.
So I feel
teraflops to me is the new blast processing, all right? And SSD. That's the new blast processing. All right, we'll continue.
So look, like I was saying, and Nintendo and PlayStation will always mosey along. They'll always do what they've always done. But I feel like Xbox kind of always beat expectations. They always went around expectations. Notice how I kind of like using that X word a little bit. I'm showboating for them.
What other X words can you use?
Yeah.
try to fit as many X words as possible in this.
No, because then I'll start fucking putting Z words and X words to fucking together. So see, now I'm always trying to step myself up to that challenge. But my expectations are going low. See how I use the same word as if I'm changing things? Fuck. So again, back on course. So I want Xbox to set us, like I said, set the new standard, blow us out the water, make the gears churn at full fucking setting, at full force, hit the VTEC, something, cause
oh no,
lost him again.
Wait, come back.
He was just getting ready to get into
I
it.
know. He was talking about the VTech. I was getting fucking rubbing up. So I guess, George, what does the show need to do for you? So Lee comes back.
Show me some good games.
Like, okay, so let's say they come out swinging with some killer games. That's enough? Like, okay, these games look fucking amazing.
My fucking, I somehow got disconnected. I think it's because Xbox knows that what I want won't happen. But I'll just wrap it up quick. I'll just wrap it up quick. Look, I just want Xbox to like I said, I can't say it enough. Just set that standard. Like the video game industry has taken so many blows. That's what she said. That it's not even fucking funny. We've seen so many rises, but worse. We've seen them almost all fall in the worst fucking way. We've seen them fall to just like pure. Just like the worst type of ambition, the monetization, the greed, from games being heralded to having all these great concepts and physics and coding to then having none of that on release. Like it just looks so bad right now. I don't care what anyone says. We've had. I really don't. Like people will say, "Oh yeah, these are one of the greatest years in the gaming industry. We've had so many good games." Sure, yeah, sure, bro. Maybe we've had really great games the last few years or this last generation, but we've also had them in the worst way as well. We've just had these bad games come out.
Oh yeah.
Bad
You have some. That's the thing. Is that the thing is there's less games coming out. Like, no, there are more games coming out, but less, how do I say this? Like, the big people that came out with the best games, they came out with less, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Less games this generation. Like, remember, the PS3 generation, we got all the Uncharted games and Last of Us. And this generation, we got Uncharted 4 and Last of Us Part 2. If you want to count Lost Legacy in there, you can, but it's more like like an expansion.
So it's so you'll like hear sorry I cut you off, but it's like you'll hear these conversations, you'll see these profiles and these like fucking influencers, these caricatures, like saying like it's really weird, like seeing that this generation was one of the best games. One of the best generations in gaming. Like
I think for PlayStation it has been.
But even then, I don't know how it just doesn't for anyone, like just doesn't have, like they don't have a bad taste in their mouth, like that, this unfulfillment.
I think the main reason, and just me talking out, like just looking from the outside in to you, I think the main reason you feel this way is because the main franchises that you love the most have all gotten screwed over.
Fucking dead.
So I think that's what happened. All the franchises that you love the most got all fucking being, like, they all got screwed over. So I can see that. Like, but
then of that being said, what 4 games picked up the mantle following after suit?
No, I think other games are different things. Like I said, like I think PlayStation and Nintendo to some extent are the only ones. Yes, we want, like, that's the thing. I want Xbox to also be in the running, also to be up there, because when we have years that maybe, if you have a year that maybe PlayStation games don't do it for you, there's a higher chance that maybe something on Xbox might do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why you want Xbox. So that's why I don't get the people that want it to fail. I'm like, no, we want more games. Isn't that the whole point? Like, more games the merrier. You have more stuff to choose from, right? And the first party is so important, because the first party is where you see the innovation. It's where you see the care. It's where you see. I'm not saying the third party you don't see it, but it's rare these days, right? You could count like on a hand the amount of like third party developers, like big ones, that actually care, like to make like. That is not. They're just coming. They're not just pumping something out. Like you look at it, it's like in its care. Like CD Projekt Red and Rockstar are up there, right? Like those two, like you could see the care in the games they make. But it's rare. Like Bethesda, like they've fallen. I mean, Bethesda Game Studios, just the people that made Fallout. That part of the team. But like, I understand. I do understand what you're saying, but for me, wherever I didn't find something that didn't do it for me, I always found something else. If you know what I'm saying, because especially that's the thing, because I play on everything. Like, so that gives me like maybe more choice when it comes to that, so I don't feel it as much. Not to say that I don't feel it, because I do. Like, I know what you're saying, because the last gens, there were definitely there were like years that were like a bunch of games, but like I can think of years like 2017 that were like just killer games like coming out like month after month after month after month. Like obviously, but the thing is, like specifically for you, like Mass Effect came out in March, right? And it sucked.
Yeah.
In 2017,
and it was the worst.
But for me,
and then Anthem came out, and it was fucking trash.
Exactly.
Fucking.
But for me, like Horizon Zero Dawn, right? The next week, Zelda. The week even before that was Nier Automata. Then a few months later, you got Splatoon 2, like, you know, because I like that. Then a few months later, Assassin's Creed Origins, I like it. Then Wolfenstein 2, which I love. Then Mario Odyssey, which I love. You know what I mean? So like, you get all these games coming back to back. So like, I do get what you're saying, but there is levels to this. Is what I'm trying to say. But George, you said that for you, the only thing you need Xbox to do is just come out with some killer games, right?
Yeah, you guys show me something that interests me to want to play, because I've tried Halo, wasn't for me. I'm just not a first-person shooter person, so I usually don't get into those.
Halo's for everyone, George.
What does Halo Infinite need to do then? Like, what if it's still first-person, but it's like showing like a killer story and all that stuff? Are you be in to try it out? I try it out because I've tried.
Bro, well, hold on. Man needs an Xbox first. Okay.
No, he has a PC. He has a PC that can play them.
Ooh,
just get Game Pass, and you have access to other, right? So I think Xbox makes it easy for you to at least try the games out, right? But all right, so let's get to our predictions before we wrap this up. So, do you want me to go first?
Let me get my long-winded bullshit out the way, because I'm gonna try to get it short. Prices. I think within the first 10 minutes they'll let you know what the price is on the Xbox. I'm guessing.
Yo, my bad. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I forgot to mention this at the top. They said yesterday, no business talk, only about games.
Fuck.
So I think the price stuff is in the August thing that they're doing. Sony's also doing an August thing, supposedly.
So bad. They suck so bad, bro.
Everything got split up this year. Instead of one being one show, everything's like separated into like different events. It sucks.
This is so bad.
So
no one. Everything's gonna under sale because they're not giving people enough time to prepare and shit like that. By the time we know all the information, everything will be out at one time. Like, no one will be ready for anything. Fuck life.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know what's gonna be ready to be honest.
Well, then predictions are up in the air. So I don't. There's really so this is what I want, at least.
Only games. So far, they said only games.
If they don't show. If they don't show at least like legit 6 exclusives, I will not be impressed, bro. If I don't see fucking at least like fucking contenders for the next like 10 years, bro, I will not be interested. If they just start showing fucking third-party trash about fucking going to an island and eating shit and you turn into the shit that you fucking eat, bro, I will fuckking throw myself out the window.
Listen.
And curb enthusiasm.
Listen. We're talking about bug snacks. Stop it. All right. Okay, so let me get the ball rolling then. I predict that we will. Okay, look, because to me, showing exclusive is not enough at this point. I don't care. Like they could show me a title card, an exclusive. That doesn't do it. I want to see gameplay. I want to see gameplay, including Halo, of at least 3 exclusives. I want to see some gameplay. Show me what the fuck next gen is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next gen about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why should I pick up an Xbox Series X? Why should I upgrade my PC? Why should I play these games? Just giving me a cinematic trailer, like, it's fine, sure, whatever, but I want to see gameplay. And with that being said, I think we will see Obsidian's new game.
StarCraft or Starfield, whatever.
No, that's Bethesda. But like instead of
what did you just say?
Obsidian. Close
Obsidian.
enough.
Oh, never mind. Close enough.
Yeah. So instead of seeing so the whole thing is that it's gonna be like a fantasy game, a la Elder Scrolls, like their take on that, like right, next gen version of that. I think it'll be that. I think we'll see gameplay, whatever it is, but I don't think it'll just be straight fantasy. I think it'll have a twist to it. You know what I mean? It won't just be straight fantasy. Like it'll have something else. I can't think of what, but that's my prediction. We'll see Obsidian's game. We'll see some gameplay. I'm talking about a gameplay demo, not some sizzle reel, like actual gameplay demo that we'll see something of it. And yeah, hopefully fucking kicks ass. Anyways, George, you want to go while Lee figures himself out?
Considering I don't know too much about Xbox, I don't even know what to really predict, to be honest with you. Because I mean, they already also announced that there's nothing going to be completely exclusive to the Xbox Series X.
That doesn't mean exactly what it means, though. That's the thing.
I know
it's
going to be coming out
to the platform, to their platform.
Why upgrade is my point.
Huh?
Just say why upgrade if everything's not going to be exclusive to that system. They give you no reason to upgrade.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You upgrade if you want. Like the way I see it, from my point of view, is like, do you want to play the shitty version of Halo, or do you want to play the good version of Halo?
Listen, let's not talk about what Pedro's going to choose, all right?
That's just kind of how I see it. Like, to me, that honestly doesn't matter, because, like, if I'm getting a new, like, if I'm getting, like, for example, let's say Miles Morales or whatever is coming on PS5 and at PS4, I want to play it on PS5, not PS4. I want to see the best version of that game. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's kind of how I see it.
But the point is, you have a choice. There's other people who don't have that choice.
I think at first, I get that, but I think at first, the only people that are gonna bite are the hardcore, and then eventually everybody else. Like they already sold their original allotment. They both sold it off already. They have enough. Like the 10 million that each of them have, or 5 million, whatever it is, they sold it already. The hardcore gamer was go for it, regardless. They could show no games for it, and the hardcore gamer was.
And they'll still get it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Yeah. So I know you say you don't see a reason to upgrade. But again, you don't have to. You have a PC. Dude, boom, you're in.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, they got you regardless at that point. Like me, personally, I'm not gonna get a Series X because I have a PC like it's comparable to the same one you have, and it should be able to run everything for next gen just fine. But maybe a little bit better. Who knows? Because I could actually tweak settings, right? So that's kind of where I see it. Like, I'm not gonna get a Series X right now. I'll probably get a PS5 at first, but Series X is coming later on. But again, even when you're playing Xbox games on PC, it feels like Xbox regardless, because you're still signing into Xbox. It's still your gamer tag. It's still your friends list. It's still the same party chat. It's still your achievements. So it's like you're running an Xbox inside the PC. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes it feel like a console. So far, that's how I feel. Like, even when I'm playing my PC Xbox, it just feels like an Xbox. Even though it's PC, I don't know how to describe it, but they make you feel part of that ecosystem, even being on PC. So Lee, what do you got for prediction?
The thing, it's like I feel like we're in the fucking dark time, fucking in the dark timeline. So my prediction will always fucking be quite sour. So I don't even like. It's just.
Okay, I'll give you another. I'll give you another one. So I said Obsidian's game. We'll see that. So the whole thing I've been predicting, we'll see Fable, right? This is the dude. And Fable, when we see whenever we see a Fable, it needs to be gameplay, and it needs to fucking rock our socks off when we see that thing. Because it's a Fable reboot. That's what the rumors are. Maybe it won't even call Fable. Maybe just the same universe. Maybe it's an Albion, but it's not called Fable.
Yeah, it's called Tall Tale.
Yeah. So I want to see that weather tech that they did in Forza Horizon on Fable in real time. I want to see snow fall and accumulate. I don't want that to be like the staple of the fucking game either, though. I don't come to a game just to fucking. That's where Ghost of Tsushima does like a good balance where, like, yeah, there's a bunch of beautiful things to look at, but
like you're not fooling yourself and just getting lost in that. You're playing a game at the same time. I'm not gonna
But
go to Fable
they
just to look at a fucking system.
But they could make it part of the gameplay. They could make that part of the gameplay the same way it was kind of Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, like you
summer,
said.
You couldn't go over it. And as soon as
But during the winter, yeah, you can cross.
But what if you have control over the weather? You know what I mean? Like, use that weather tech something interesting. Obviously, I would prefer like, what if you have fucking the power to change the weather in real time? You know what I mean?
Oh, great.
Like you're like in a snowy mountain, and you can pass by and you fucking make it sunny instead of make everything melt. You know what I mean? Like something like that, something interesting, something new, something like mechanically interesting. I want to see in Fable, and like it still needs to be quirky. I don't mean it needs to be like funny or whatever, but like it still needs to have that British humor still to be Fable. I think it can't lose that. That's part of its identity. But again, if they reboot it and they call it something else, I feel like they can do whatever they want with it. But I'm saying if they're calling it Fable, so.
I don't know, bro. It's just there's not enough crumbs in the water to make predictions, and to me there's not enough hope to believe that there is type of shit. It's pretty much I'm on for the ride now, and what happens pretty much, because like I'm so on the fence with this industry now that it's just like if it fails to impress me by the time these next consoles come out, yikes, bro, my future in this shit is fucking dark as fuck.
Normally I would say like, yo, hold off, but at this point, especially how everything, I don't know about you, George, but this whole rollout thing, I miss E3. Like, I don't like this.
This shit's been all fucked up. For
understandable reasons.
Yeah.
It is, dude, when the new console's coming out, by this time, we know the price, right? We know the launch lineup. We saw some gameplay demos. We know what the fuck is going on. But everything has gotten so screwed up this year. Like, it's hard to tell. Like, what if there would have been gameplay demos? We can't see it because they don't have time to do it right, or this whole like COVID thing fucked them up that they had to have time to get it ready on time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. At this point, like, it's weird to expect grandiose things. Like, I think they have stuff up their sleeve. For a fact.
It sounds like they have literally. It feels like the thing is that, like, honestly, like it feels like they have like literally the what I'm waiting for. Like how I said, like the like this big impact coming. Like maybe like a game changer, like something that'll like put the industry back in line type of shit. It almost feels like that, the way that they're talking, the way that they kind of like half brag, like it's about the games, we're moving things forward, etc. It sounds a whole lot of good, but bro, man, people talk that talk, and that's the only thing we've been hearing so far is just a lot of talk. Like it's very rare the day that people actually make change and do the change that they talk and shit like that. So it's like people call me pessimistic, but let's be real here. Let's be realist. We could go ahead.
No, I just feel like at this point, like they need to bring, like there is no other choice here. Like it needs to bring it. If you know what I mean? Like there is no other. Mm-hmm. This show cannot be middle of the road. It needs to be like maybe their best show ever. Like pretty much, that's what's riding on it, and that's what makes it hard because I feel like I don't think nothing can live up to those expectations. I think they fucked up so bad and they held up so much, but at the same time, it gives me hope because I know they've held back a lot of shit from last year and the year before. They've pretty much shifted focus all to next gen. So like, I don't know. I think we'll see Elden Ring. That's my last prediction. I think we'll finally see some Elden Ring gameplay, and something with Japanese developers. I know they've been hinting at for a long time. I need to see the proof is in the pudding for sure, but I know they have something up their sleeve. Maybe a few things up their sleeve, because supposedly they're keeping this shit so secret. Only a few people at Microsoft know even some employees don't even know what's in the show. 100%. Some of the most top secret stuff, only a few people up top know what it is, and that's it.
And that's exactly what I was saying. How
because
like
because
they're
they're trying to
talking
keep
that
it.
talk.
Yeah,
They're talking that talk. It sounds like big things are in the works, but bro, like that could
yeah,
just as much as that could be good things, that could also be bad things. They could be the very few people know is because they don't have anything to actually show. They're keeping everything hush hush because the hype itself will become a bubble that they themselves will pop later, type of shit.
yeah,
like
yeah.
like what there's so much room for things to go wrong, and you can't blame me because everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for Microsoft and did go wrong for the industry, type of shit. Like
Yeah,
you,
Microsoft definitely. But again, it's a different team now than from the original Xbox One. Like the people in charge now are not the same people that came up with the Xbox One. That was a completely different team. The people just had pretty much picked up the pieces, like just pretty much limped over to the finish line, and they had and now now the Xbox Series X and this whole thing is this whole new team. This is their vision. This is their thing. Like the whole, again, Microsoft has never had a massive first party portfolio studios. This is the first time they've had it. So I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I think we should wrap it up now. Yeah, George, if you want to do the honors.
Sure, that's been our show. If you want to get in touch with us, reach us at neverreadystudios@gmail.com. Once again, that's neverreadystudios@gmail.com. You can leave us questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. You just want to know how we're doing. Just hit us up.
Nobody wants to know that.
No, nobody wants to know how you're doing.
That's true.
That includes us.
So we'll I guess we'll see. Also, I'm planning to do a reaction thing on Thursday. Post it up on the channel.
What time is it on Thursday?
Dude, I think it's at noon.
yeah, I think it's like right in the afternoon. It's just so weird.
It's at noon. I can't.
Yeah, so maybe Pedro can make it. Only the Xbox guys will be on.
Oh, great.
So we'll do a.
Sure, he's an Xbox guy. He makes me wonder sometimes.
He's a Call of Duty guy.
Yeah. We'll do a.
Those are different things. It doesn't matter which system you're in.
We'll do what's it called? A reaction show and then a post show. So by next week's show, we'll know what the temperature's at with all of us. Dude, like seriously, it might not seem like it, but to me, this is really, for Microsoft specifically, this is really like I know for Lee it's more than that, but for me, it's like Microsoft, this is their time. Like, it's make it or break it, baby. So, so I guess we'll get on next week. Toodaloo.
Yep, have a good one, folks. All in my head is, hello, darkness, my old friend.